Hello everyone. Yeah. Oh dear, it's moving on to winter, and John's self-grooming again, which is pretty sad, isn't it? Hello, as I said, it's John, and what have I been up to? It's May. It's what is it? 22nd, something like that. Anyway, this May video will have some choppy bits that I've taken from. Or I've made some videos, or some little shorter ones anyway, from previous timestamps earlier in the month where some things have caught my attention. There was one from Mega Meeple, which I thought, I couldn't help myself, I had to say something, and it was in regards to, do you actually play something and go, well, I know who that was designed from? No. Anyway, these days I've toddled off and started to look at more and more these days at role-playing games. And I had an interesting situation occur. Now, this is no criticism, but it's something that I found that, well, it did deeply distress me as a result of what happened anyway. So I've had a primary group for some time whose numbers have dropped down. And so I had a Facebook group in my local area, and I advertised saying, look, I'm interested in some people. And I got 2 new people join the group. And one of them was, I will identify them as one of these new age people from today's society. And there's nothing wrong with them. I was actually quite excited to have somebody like that within my group. And that individual played brilliantly within the context of the group. They interacted, and I thought they did quite well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, I blog. I thought I'd made that fairly clear with what I'd sent out previously, and the fact that I video to show who I am, and I'd included sections within my YouTube little description thing underneath that, hey, look, this is where I do all my narrative work. And I thought I'd made it fairly clear, but anyway, this individual responded back and took exception to the fact that I'd named them, only their first name, and that I'd used their character name. Anyway, long and the short was that I wasn't prepared to have any unpleasantness come out of this. So out of courtesy, I removed that individual's name from the blog, and I changed their character name. I wasn't going to remove it, I just changed it. But it got me thinking, for people who have role-playing groups, and certainly perhaps as a game master, is what do you do to protect yourself from situations that may arise where you have somebody that may potentially cause you, I suppose, difficulties. I come from a law enforcement background, and so consequently I am always wondering or worrying more about the fact of, what things will happen to people. So I look at things from what will happen in a litigious style affair that, you always unfortunately hear of situations where, I didn't know you had a cat and I had an allergic reaction, and I was hospitalised. So I actually had a second group of role players that started up last weekend. But before they started, I sent them a list. And I said to them, I said, right, well, I got a cat and a dog. Are you allergic to them? You know, I said, I blog. I write about our game experiences. Now I said, I will write about you and your characters. I said, I will only use your first names. However, I won't use your first names if you do not wish me to mention you at all within them. So in other words, I was setting out the guidelines now. So I was prepared to do that. And then I said, well, what pronouns do you wish to be referred to? You know, suddenly there's this whole gamut of things that I've never had to really start to think about, because it's more for me now having to worry about protecting myself certainly within the context of my own home, which really, you know, it's okay when you start, particularly when they're, you know, your friends you don't really worry about, but if you've got new people who are coming in that you may have only met once, or you haven't met at all, that you've invited in for the first time that you've met, and you think, well, yeah, okay, they look like they'll be fairly good within the group, and you've invited them in, and okay, maybe I've taken the risk, and I'm starting to think, well, okay, not the best. So, what are your thoughts? Have I done the right thing by literally saying, look, these are the ground rules now? I need to start to say, you know, do you have allergies? How do you wish to be? You know, I think they're common sense. I don't think that that's a problem. And I think, you know, fair enough. I write my blog. You need to be well aware of that. So these are things, okay, they're newbie. Because I guess I haven't been doing it that long. Well, I have been. I've been doing it over a year. But then I haven't had an issue with anybody else with whom that I've been gaming with, because, well, once again, they're people I've been gaming with for some time, and nobody has yet to date objected. So, but then we always run into situations that we've never run into before. So, but anyway, yeah, but you know, the reaction that I got really did upset me, and it made me feel really, really uncomfortable to have that situation come out of something that I thought was, you know, an innocuous piece of entertainment and literature that was up there for the enjoyment of, well, once again, who reads it? Probably just the people that are within my group, because once again, I don't think many people read my blog. I know people click on it. Whether or not people actually read it, that's the next thing. But I suppose, hey, look, it's out there, so whether or not they do or don't is neither for me to judge. So, but you know, it hurts, and but that's this world that we currently live in. Have a look. Anyway, there's a couple of more bits and clips and pieces, so enjoy the rest of the video. Well, hello everyone. It's the day of my D&D. I've been making copious notes. It's blustery outside. It's blowing a gale. I've been going through my old notes, and yes, been going through. Settled on World of Greyhawk. Well, at the moment I'm waiting for Ghosts of Saltmarsh to arrive. So of course all my notes and everything are old. So I've managed to... Hello Pip, what you doing, mate? Keeping an eye, waiting for my guests. So my table's all set up, but of course I found... I found my map, and of course had to go find it. And that apparently is where, according to the instructions, that little dot is where salt marsh is, and my group I've got up here at the moment. So they're up there along the river up. So yes, anyway, that's where things are. I'm just waiting for my group to arrive. I've got things all sorted out. I've got my 3 major players, and I've got 2 new people turning up hopefully today. So I'm all ready and set to go. Right, I've got some more. My D&D, I've decided to go with salt marsh, which, oh God, put my back to you, how very rude of me. But I've got the original, minus U1, which sadly went in the flood, but I've got the PDF version, which I've had printed, which I own. And so I ran my second group through Saltmarsh, which was entertaining. I love the second group that I've got, because they started first level characters. The primary group that I've had for some time, they're up around 5th. The second group now, they've started at first level. So it's interesting looking at the differences. But the first level group were thoroughly entertainment. It was a really good mix of people. So I thank them very much for for having joined. But the Saltmarsh, yes, it was very interesting because I was drawing most of my material from the DMG 3.5, DMG2, which had the city of Saltmarsh, or town of Saltmarsh, and it's I was looking at a video on YouTube about Ghost of Saltmarsh, and the map, pardon me, that they've shown, it's very different from the from the one. It's, you know, obviously, as they said, it's set sometime after. So I'm thinking, okay, I think there might be some retconning or something to to make some changes. I think, thankfully, the first party have only just arrived at Saltmarsh, my primary group, so I can easily change everything for that, so that won't be an issue. And of course, the first group, they were told that the adventures there, I told them that, look, I'm waiting for the Ghost of Saltmarsh book to arrive so that I can at least see what they've done with the village. So yeah, so that's what they are. But it has been really delightful that I've got a group of younger players in my second group who are thoroughly entertaining. You know, it's really made, yeah, look, it's made an old man like me rather happy to be entertained with the theatrics that is being provided, and I hope that myself, as their game master, has provided some joy. At least I hope. Well, they're coming back, so I suppose that's always a good sign to show. So anyway, thank you, and we'll see what the next segment shows. Hello everyone, it's John from Brisbane, and it's, what's today? Monday. Yes, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about something that came up on the Dice Tower the other week, and it was posted by Mega Beeple, where he was talking about, do you, when you're playing a game, suddenly go, oh, this is such and such a designer's game? Or do you see a piece of artwork and go, oh, I know who that is? I'm sorry, Mega Meeple, I don't. I have in, I think, 40 years of gaming cannot, I'm sorry, I cannot tell you, apart from maybe one or two games, and you know, I can think of some. No, I can't even think of any of them now, to be quite honest. I'm sitting here thinking, can I think of any game designers? No, I'm drawing a blank at the moment, and that's with me having to think here very quickly, trying to put this very short video together. See, this is it. I can be sitting playing a game, like I can go to my local club and I'm sitting there playing a game with people, and I can tell you I have some really, really clued up people, and yes, they can probably tell you, or they will tell me, you know, oh, I know this, you know, this designer and this person do this, but you know, they're people that probably, in my opinion, perhaps a little too invested in playing games. And that's, to be quite honest, that is quite fine. But for the majority of people who play games, and I like to think of myself as just an average person who likes to play games. I enjoy playing games for the fact that I play more for the social interaction. Hell, yeah, I like to win if I can, but I'm more for interacting with people and having fun. It's the social interaction. So for me, yep, if the game is fun, that's all I'm looking for. I really don't give a toss who the game designer is, or who's done the artwork, or even who the company is. They don't matter much. You know, when I look at the fact that my family has been involved with the game industry from the 70s, and my wife worked in the industry, and I have myself been involved on and off with people within the industry over the years. And I have, looking at the clientele who come into a general game shop, most of the people aren't generally coming in going, do you have a particular publisher? Oh, sorry, not publisher, but a particular game designer. No. They're usually coming in, do you have a game for a child under the age of 12 that meets something for science fiction, or might be for something to do with, you know, I have a child likes ponies. Do you have a pony game? They're the sort of things that, you know, mum and dads or grandparents or something are usually coming into a game shop. Now, I'm talking about a general store in a mall or a shopping centre. These are the sort of shops. I'm not talking about, you know, the sort of nerdy shop, if you'd like to call them that deal with the hardcore gamer. You know, the hardcore gamers, yep, they're going to be hardcore. They're going to know exactly who game designers and that are. But, you know, for the vast majority of people who play games, they're there for the fun and enjoyment. And I like to think that I'm one of those vast majority of gamers who really, and to be quite honest, a lot of people, you know, even the competitive ones that I do know, a lot of them don't know or care really who a game designer is. So, sorry. I can play a game, I'll know, you know, I'll see a mechanism. Will I equate it to somebody, you know, to another game designer's mechanism? No. But, again, I'm quite sure I'm just the exception, like I normally am, because, hey, I'm an old man and I never, ever fit in anybody's box. So, anyway, till next time, signing off, the Honourable John. So, on a personal note, I've been off to radiology, which was entertaining. I know a lot of people complain about certain things, but I had to go in and have some X-rays done, and I must admit it's been a little while since I've had to have it done. And the lady was young, and I'm there going, oh, okay, this is interesting. And anyway, so I'm taken into the room, and it's one of these ones where I've got to stand up because they're doing the head, and so head's resting in the thing, and I'm there going, oh, okay, I wonder what's happening. And the next minute, all I hear is the scampering of feet and the slamming of the door, and the next minute the machine starts up, and I'm there going, okay, I forgot about the fact that they don't stay in the room anymore. And yes, look, honestly, it didn't worry me that much. If anything, I got a chuckle, but I could imagine some people going, oh no, am I dosing up on radiation? Oh. Look, to be honest, at my stage in life, I'm not really worried about, death's round the corner for me one way or another. It's whether or not it's today or tomorrow or 5 millennia ago when it happened. It doesn't really matter. But, it's silly. But I found it highly entertaining. Sorry. That was my little bit of joy from yesterday. So there, I thought I'd share that with you.